This video will demonstrate the use of Sente to export notes to Scrivener. One of the things that I needed to do was to find a way to get my notes that I've taken in Sente over to Scrivener for writing. And so I wrote a script that you've downloaded, I presume, and that script can do that. So let's go ahead and give that a try. So first you need to select the reference that has the notes that you want. Here I've got several notes and I want to export these to Scrivener. So I'll select that, go up to the Scripts menu, Export Notes to OPML RTF. That'll start my script. It'll ask me what format I want to use. In this case, I'm going to use OPML. RTF is good because it retains the formatting. So if you've got any special formatting in the notes, it might be a good idea to use RTF. RTFD would be better if you had images in the notes. And but there are some limitations to RTFD. It has some import problems with some software. So it's a good idea to try both of them and see which one works best for you. I'm going to use OPML in this case. It'll come up and ask you for a name that you want and a location. So I'm going to leave the name as the, actually I'm going to change the name. I'm going to change this to Lung 2007. And I'm going to put this on my desktop. And I'm using default folder 10, so I can just click on my desktop. And so now I've selected the desktop as a location. So I'll go ahead and save. And it'll tell me how many notes it exported for how many references when it's done. I'll press OK. Now I have this OPML file over here. And all I need to do to get this into Scrivener is to activate Scrivener and drag my notes into the research area, and they will be imported. And if I open this triangle, you'll see each of the notes here, and they are listed in order. So one way to display the notes that I think is really useful is to select the note card display. And so now I see all of the notes in note cards. If I want to create multiple panes, I can now have the text of my draft in one window and the notes in another. So here I can write my text. There we go. So that's OPML format. Let's take a look at how they might differ if I export them in RTF format. So again, I'll select my note and select Export Notes to OPML RTF. We'll select RTF. And this time it defaults to the last location that was saved. So it's going to go out to the desktop. And I'll go ahead and choose that location. And it creates a folder for each reference that you export. In this case, there's only one reference, so it created one folder. If there were multiple references, it would create multiple folders. And if I open that up, we'll see each of these notes with the page numbers preceding the notes. That's to keep the notes in order by page. Again, I can drag this into Scrivener and drop it into my research area. And now I have another set of notes. Now you'll notice that these do retain the formatting that was in the original note. So I'll open up this note and you'll see that my formatting is retained. I have italics for the hypothesis, for example, in this note. So that's one thing to use if you want to retain your formatting. And again, if I look at these in note card pane, They're a little bit different for the RTF in the note card pane because they don't display the text of the notes. That's because the RTF file is one big, each individual note has only as its heading the note information. Now let's take a look at something exported as RTFD. Now you'll note that this reference has some notes that have only text and other notes that have images. So I'll go ahead and export this as RTFD. Okay. And out to my desktop again. And you'll see I now have the learner reference exported to the desktop. If I open this up, you'll see it's a bunch of RTFD files. Now if we bring this into Scrivener, we'll take a look at what it imports. I'm going to close this pane. Yeah, so we only have one. And I'll take a look at these notes. And there's our note with our image brought into Scrivener. Now again, unlike the OPML format, the RTFD format doesn't display the note in the index card. So that's Scrivener integrated with Sente, exporting notes to Scrivener so you can use for your writing. When I actually do this, I prefer to use the vertical orientation in my view. So I'll go ahead and use layout, split vertically. And so then what I can do is in this left pane, I will put my draft. In the right pane, I will have my notes in note card format. And if I move this out a little bit, they're out there like that. And so I can write in the left pane and refer to my notes in the right pane. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps with your workflow.